All right.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? And yes, I know my face is like that.
Yep. Roasty toasty.
Yes. We got Mr. Anime. They were a little shy to be featured here in this very particular stream.
Yes.
But
Indeed.
I think it'll be well worth the effort of getting there. Yes.
Oh, my sunburn.
Oh, my sunburn. Yes. Yeah. Yep. It hurts to laugh.
Yeah.
It hurts to emote really hard.
So you know your job, guys. We need to
But yeah.
make him crack smile, crack skin, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. The abstract concept of anime is here, PogChamp. Right, Mesker? Oh my god, we actually were able to get the corporeal and very
Look at those
localized aspect there. Yes, exactly. NT with the Twitch Prime resub for the 5th month in a row. Wow, that sunburn looks bad.
It feels bad.
It feels worse than it looks. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's not that crazy. All right, so we've got a lot of people here. We're going to be talking about sharing the gift of stories. Anime is a huge part of this for us, given what our channel is. But thinking
Just a gift.
But thinking about our past and just who we are as people and stuff. I think in a lot of ways, who we are as people wouldn't have been the way we were if stories wasn't a thing that had been kind of inspired to us and been a thing that had been, I would say given as an opportunity to for us to explore.
I mean, one, just the fact that decided to write a book. It's it's kind of just a little bit weighed by the fact that I enjoyed stories a lot when I was a kid, and the thing is that these stories, even though they're the ones that maybe had the most impact on us or whatever, because maybe of when we watched it or just how great the story was, stories still continue to have that impact on us, and help us grow as people and enjoy life more and all that stuff, and that can't be talked about enough, I feel like.
Yeah. Before we get too much into this, let's give a shout out to one of our VIP patrons, Salo Cannel 2 on Discord. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate your support so much, and I'm glad to have you here.
Yes.
Thank you a lot. And we've been going through older VIPs, but Salo Cannel is actually one of our newer VIPs, but has been a supporter of ours for a long time on the Patreon. Yeah. So thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Oh man, yes, yeah. Look at those lines. Oh my gosh, yep. Time for me to not make Caleb laugh, right?
Oh damn! I just tuned in. Did Caleb look at the reactor core?
No. I'm cosplaying Armin. That's
the joke.
That's the joke I'm running with right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caleb's got them facial battle lines. You have no idea. Here's the thing.
With stories that we can share with you. We've got some announcements
to share with you. There's some announcements to be made. Now there's an announcement video that's going to be coming out later today. But since you guys are here, let's just jump right into it. Basically. Yes, and there's a whole bunch of bravado and pomp to this announcement, clearly, as you can see. But, Battle Lines is out right now.
It's, totally out right now.
It's on Amazon. You can find it and buy it. There's details about, stuff, because there were some complications with international orders as far as the hard copies go. But basically, if you're outside the U.S., you can still get the ebook just fine. If you're inside the U.S., you can also get the hard copy. So, it's pretty cool.
Yep.
You might have to search very specifically for it. If you just search Battle Lines, that won't work. You'd have to search, Battle Lines Jacob Wolcott, and then you'll find it.
Because there's no one that's ordered it yet.
There's no one that's ordered it. There's no, product reviews or anything like that on it. So, yeah.
Pretty legit.
So if you want to be able to get it and then on review shout first. I mean, you could do that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you get the ebook. Like, if you get the ebook also, and you're in our Discord, which, by the way, if you're a Twitch subscriber, you know, via Twitch Prime or something like that, you can get into the Discord. In fact, in the next, like, few minutes, you could go get the ebook, be a Twitch sub by using Twitch Prime, then go into our spoilers channel, and you could immediately start talking about the entire thing with us and stuff, which is pretty cool.
It's it's pretty crazy. The
21st century.
And for anyone that like pre-ordered it like outside the US and you know you're like, wait, what am I gonna be late on? No. Later today when I make that announcement video, I'm gonna basically share a ebook for access with all the people that pre-ordered it, so you can still like, you know, read it as soon as possible.
Gotcha. That's
Even
cool.
though it won't be that like amazing feeling of the pages between your fingers right away, at least.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Eric Walt, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime for the 8th month in a row. Happy podcast day. Get well soon, Caleb. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
I've applied like 8 layers of aloe vera.
Yeah.
Aloe vera. I love Vera.
Yeah,
So that's been the joke basically here. See, this is my girl. She's green. I call her Vera.
Jacob Nakub Wolcott.
Oh
yes,
my
that's
gosh.
exactly what
the
my
Penny,
names are.
thank you so much for the follow. Or Thepany, thank you so much for the follow.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here. Appreciate it.
I googled it, clicked the Amazon link, and it gave me a nothing is here error.
That's
Mind opening Amazon real quick.
that's possible. I don't think though that it would be something like that.
Battle Lines, Jacob Wolcott.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, there. Look at that. Look at that. Auto fills in.
Huh, yeah.
So hardcover.
Oh yeah, the signed copy, that shouldn't be showing up. That's probably why you aren't able to get it. Yeah, the signed copies, that's how I'm fulfilling all the signed copies for the Kickstarter.
You have that public though.
Well, I deactivated it, but I guess it's still visible. But you want the other one.
Yeah, well that one can't even be purchased anyway.
Right, exactly.
But yes, the other one is here.
And boom, yeah, it's right there. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right.
It's not sunburn. Jacob was literally radiating excitement at his book being released, and Caleb stood too close. That's right.
I mean, that's a good possibility, because on some level, like there's this brilliance of brightness of joy when someone has their creative work they've been, you know, kind of just slaving over for like 3+ years, and it gets capitulated. It's like, yeah, it's kind of big deal. Yes, kind of big deal. Trash Shokan with the Twitch Prime resub for the 7th month in a row. Tell us the best story when you have shown someone a story, preferably anime. Domestic Girlfriend doesn't count. It's almost like you know what this podcast is gonna be about. Trash
Because
Shokan.
it's definitely about Domestic Girlfriend. I mean, let's be real.
And Jad the Mad with the Twitch Prime for the 4th month in a row. I think it's not Sunburn. Jacob's. Oh yeah, you read that one. Sorry, my bad.
I didn't realize that was the thing for a sub.
Caleb, I think you owe a shoulder punch to Jacob.
Oh my
gosh.
They were literally saying like, "Wow,
my god,
brace your shoulder, Jacob." Yeah,
that's
Jacob,
right.
how's your shoulder?
I said I would punch you, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
See,
I
think I got over
here.
it, and also I don't think he really deserves a punch specifically.
I mean, I would splash water in your face if you did. Not that that would be a reward. But
no,
because
exactly.
you are burned right now. But yeah,
seriously, take care of yourself. You don't want to get saggy skin or cancer. I am very much aware of the issues here. There's a story behind this, obviously, but we'll save it for another time. The TLDR is I played too much Frisbee.
Yeah. It was like what, 8 solid hours?
It was a number of hours. Something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a story to this, but in the podcast about sharing stories, I won't share the story.
Sharing the gift of stories, but it is not this story. It is not this day. It's not this story.
Wow.
Yes, exactly.
What a hypocrite, Caleb. I'm ashamed of you.
I know. See, this story is just, it's just better left untold.
Yeah.
In fact, that's
Mhm.
going to be a huge thing about this this podcast specifically, is that there were stories that were specifically kind of told to us, and we were kind of given the, you should recommend this. They were shilled to us, you know,
Mhm.
those
like
those
Domestic
stories.
Girlfriend.
Yes, exactly. But
Yeah.
you did kind of the, you didn't do the shilling. You kind of
Well, I
did
did
the,
to you eventually.
well,
but yeah.
eventually. But if anything, actually, I more got the shilling from like like a Giga video or something like that, or like you know, just
Yeah, the gig videos that I told you about.
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly, yeah, and
Mhm.
just having this, like, you know, just constant just presence of Jacob just being like, this show, and talking about it with other people, and me
Yeah.
feeling, you know, left out, obviously, just you know, being not in the loop for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Outstanding move, Caleb. Caleb must have been training with All Might. Oh my gosh. Caleb's face go explosion.
Jacob did the hands off supersonic reverse show. Don't watch Space Dandy. Wait. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Lyriot, I won't. You know,
Mhm.
we've been wondering whether we can truly believe you about that we should watch Space Dandy, but now that you've told us how you really think, okay, we'll
Yeah.
take your word for it.
Yeah. Do you guys remember, though, when you were younger and someone introduced you to a specific vein of storytelling, and
Hentai.
okay, on a serious note, like, do
Mhm.
you guys remember that point where you were introduced, say, to anime for the first time? Like, that first anime you watched, that first specific you know, show that made you go, oh, this is something I will actually be interested in getting into. But then think back even before that, and what was the first, like, show or the first book that got you even interested in stories in general? And-
Okay, for a second there, I thought you were going to start talking about Bleach, and I was like, wait,
I was
what?
actually.
Whoa.
Like, many of you all know this, but this is something I really wanted to bring up in the podcast. Was Bleach is like the first anime I was introduced to, and what's funny, and I almost wanted to kind of bring this up as a funny thing, but I think I've mentioned this to a couple people, is that I was introduced to what?
Oh no, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
Listening to what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
next.
I was introduced to fantasy via Lord of the Rings, Narnia, like a bunch of, like, classical kind of, you know, Western fantasy for, not really for kids, but for, you know, for like 10-year-olds, kind of like age range and stuff like that. Lord of the Rings was more into my teen years and stuff like that. But the whole idea of anime really was seeded even back then, just for the idea of there being these fantastical worlds out there that I could explore through books
Sure.
and stuff. Like, I even got into the really crummy Aragon books back when I was a kid, because a good friend of mine just liked to talk about the whole thing of dragons, and people ride dragons and have magic powers.
Or that show that we don't like to admit that we watched,
Legend of the Seeker. Yeah. But the thing was, is that I was older by that time, and already a bit depressed at the lack of fantasy and stuff.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, when you're just looking for another Aragon, even.
Yes, basically. That's how bad it was. So, going back even to that, I remember, and you guys are going to laugh at this, but I used to pretend that I would take these little these little Legos, these little Legos, and this is pre Bleach and everything like that, so this is probably about age, I don't know, 12 or something like that, and maybe even 11 or something like that. I would take little Legos and I would tell stories about them basically fighting off monsters and creatures and stuff like that, and they had swords that gave them special powers and stuff.
Right, yeah.
What's hilarious about this is 7 years before I end up watching Bleach for the first time.
Exactly.
And getting introduced to anime.
That's why it's so easy to instantly fall in love with Bleach, is because it's like, yes, they have swords, and the swords give them powers, and then
but it was almost to the point of them actually having, like, a myriad of powers, but the swords had, like, specific powers based on which sword you had.
Right, exactly.
It was to the point where once someone came to me and introduced Bleach to me, they were like, hey, you want to get into anime? And I was like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been interested really in Bleach if I hadn't, played with those Legos. I wouldn't have played with those Legos if I wasn't interested in fantasy books and stuff from a young age. And I wouldn't have been interested in that from a young age if I wasn't interested in just stories in general.
Oh, sure.
So on some level, I kind of am like, thank you, Mom, or something like that for instilling that in me. But I think it's almost worth kind of talking about as a community, like, what was your origin point where stories just became this thing that captured your imagination and your soul, your very being was just lit up with excitement about the endless possibilities. Because you can almost backtrack from you in an interesting way as well because of the whole book. You wrote a book because you wanted to see this story come into life, and no one was going to make this story.
Yeah.
So you made it.
Right.
But, like,
where
why
did
you
begin?
did that. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can tell you, this is not exactly a very epic story, but we were homeschooled.
Uh-huh.
And our parents did this thing where they would give us a whole $1 whenever we finished one of our school books. So I was like, all right, the amount of time that it takes to finish books can be quite a long time. However,
yes, a year.
Yeah, a year. However, these books that we read, you can go through those a bit faster. A page of reading is a lot easier than a page of diagramming sentences. Not that I was doing that at that age, it was other stuff. But the point remains.
Yeah, it would have had to have been after you were about age 7 because we didn't really have money or anything.
No, it was
then.
Well, I think that's why it was just $1, but still $1 was big money back then.
Oh my gosh!
And the first one was like this little pamphlet thing that basically had like 3 to 5 letter words, and it started with the 3-letter words, and it was a big deal. No, sorry, it started with like articles like a, an, and the, so some of them were like 1-letter words.
That far back?
Yeah, and that was and that was the thing, and you were kind of connected to it too because you had like Mom was like, okay, Caleb, go help Jacob with his just sort of sit by him while he does his reading stuff,
Whoa,
she was
doing
something else. Yeah, exactly. I was like feuilletado or something, and you were like, okay, Jacob, just do this thing, and I had to read like 4 pages, which was the equivalent of like 16 words, right? And then it was like it took literally like 4 or 5 minutes, and it was done. Right. And you were like, and you were like, okay, well, like Mom's still doing this other thing, so let's just do more. And the pamphlet was like 20 pages in total, maybe 30.
Oh, they call it pamphlet.
Yeah, exactly. It was this tiny little thing.
It was like 25 pages or 30 pages. That's not a pamphlet. That's,
it's
it's a short story.
But with 4 words per page,
Yeah, I'm here just going like, whoa.
So in like 20 minutes or so, it was done, right? And then it's like, oh, I finished this. I get $1, don't I? It's like, well, technically, yeah, I suppose. It's like, yeah, that is a separate book, even though it's tiny. And I was like, I just got $1 in like 20 minutes, or half an hour. This is amazing. I could be rich. And then I was like, I'm going.
Jacob, motivated by capitalism from day one.
That's right.
He just saw demand and supply, and he's just like,
exactly. Yep.
Oh my!
It prints money. Yeah.
Yeah, so, a homeschooler. Hey, Sagacious Lads, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how it started, and then I just kept reading books, and then I found out that there were some books that I actually liked, and then that made it easier.
So wait, I wasn't tied to that at all then.
Well, you were the one who were like, Jacob, let's just keep going. Let's finish this. Like you said, I'll bet you could finish this right now.
Gotcha.
And I was like, but it's a whole book. Oh, hey, no. Yeah,
okay, so I pushed you to do more.
Basically, and then it's like...
That's not really a lie.
No, because to be fair...
Because this is the funny thing, y'all, is that Jacob is like, yeah, it's a pamphlet and stuff. But, like, this is Jacob at 4 years old, like, learning how to read at, like, lightning speed.
I had just learned how to play Risk, like, the year before.
That's a lie. That's an actual.
I didn't actually know how to play. I didn't actually know.
You knew that if you took the dice and you rolled them, bigger numbers were better than lower numbers. That's the extent of your risk knowledge. Let's
I knew you could-
let's be clear here.
I knew you could attack things that were next to each other.
Nah, I think you didn't even like understand the whole concept of like where the borders like ended.
No,
like
I understood borders. I didn't know how the units like could be calculated and stuff. But
right.
but yeah,
You'd be staring at like a 6-5 and I'd have a 4-3. You'd be like, how much do I win? And I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's how much do I lose?
right.
This is great. Now we're turning this into a nostalgia stream. But seriously, this gift of storytelling was something that was instilled in us at a young age, and I think that each of us had our own different tales on it, but each of us had some aspect of fiction, specifically fiction, and I would say fantasy or sci-fi fantasy, science fantasy fiction that pushed us into a specific vein of storytelling where anime just made sense that we'd end up there. And if anything, the only reason why we really didn't get into full-blown anime was because we were either interested in Western cartoons or we just didn't know anime existed.
Right, like before, what was it? Like before Heroes, I didn't know TV shows existed.
Well, no. We weren't that sheltered.
I was.
No. That's another bald-faced lie. We knew they existed, but we didn't know that they were good. Like the idea of a TV show actually being a show that had its own linear story. Because here
Well, okay, like things like Winnie the Pooh. For
I think
instance.
because
It's
remember,
but you
Jacob,
don't know
there's
that
timelines.
Yeah,
and
no, I know.
things come in
but I didn't.
order.
But I didn't realize that was like a TV show. I thought it was just like a short little movie that was a collection of a bunch of little like chapters in the movie. You know. No, I kid you not. When we watched Heroes, I was like, oh my god, it's this thing like I don't have to worry about the time limit.
I'm gonna
of
look up
movies
the
and
year
whatnot.
Heroes came out, and you're gonna be like, wait, that's not right. 2006. Jacob's like, I was 11 when I figured out that
Hey,
that
hey.
TV shows were a thing.
I spent an entire year at BC before I found out where the cafeteria was. Like,
Okay, this is actually something that's a testament to the gift of storytelling, y'all. Y'all are actually going to be surprised at this, but Jacob and I have said this many times. We're both like pretty like definitive introverts, but like I'm a reformed introvert for the most part. You know,
Sure.
like I've come around to the bend of it and now a little bit more kind of balanced and stuff. And Jacob is a functioning introvert. Like you found
might say that, maybe.
peace, you found peace in that, right?
oh God, no.
No, at the very least, you found function within that.
Yes,
you found
right, exactly.
some really cool
Made
things
sense
within
in there.
that. But
Yeah.
but what's great is that stories, and I would say specifically stories, fictional stories with characters that we can get into and stuff, have pulled out so much of our character, basically who
Oh,
we
yeah.
are.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, is because of in some ways, this idealistic emulation of specific
Yep, absolutely.
protagonist hero characters in our lives that we almost self-inserted to
yeah.
from a very young age. So
There was literally a point when
like Redwall, yeah, freaking Redwall. I loved Redwall growing up.
there was a point when I was growing up and pubertizing basically, and it was like that whole thing of like struggling with identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I literally ended up basically writing up a list of characters. You know, some of them were anime characters, some of them were, you know, from like other shows or books or, you know,
Right.
things like that. And it was basically like, all right, if I can like somehow sum up those all characters and embody them, that would be the kind of person that I would want to be. You know, and of course
Cool.
it's all like, you know, a bunch of badass heroes, Fingerfin and, you know, and things like that. But you know, I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Probably the gariest of stews, you know, like depending
Hey
on
now.
the
now.
time when you did this,
You
right?
shut your damn mouth.
Right? I think mine were like Luke Skywalker, like Roran, you know, like
yeah.
like
Roran was the best character
it's
of the
true
Aragon
though.
series,
It's
so
true.
like, let's be
we,
real.
Can we
Let's
like
be real.
get a shout out for Roran, the actual best character
Yeah.
of the Aragon series.
Like, oh god, like I loved Aragon. That was one of the things that made me think like, hey, maybe I could actually be a writer.
Right.
But like every time in freaking Eldest, when they're talking about Aragon and all the how angsty he is over the fact that he'll never be able to be with Arya, which now that I think about it, it's like that was he had probably read A Song of Ice and Fire and was like, no one will notice.
Right.
But every time it would come up to a Roaring chapter, I would just be like, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Roran could pick up Thor's hammer. He was worthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh, wait, we've been missing some bits. Centipede Senpai.
Hammer.
Thank you so much for the 100 bits. Just came here to say hi. I've been missing your guys' streams. Oh, well, thank you for coming by, Centipede Senpai. Yeah. And Nakutaru, thank you so much for the follow. Glad to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Wait, does functioning introvert count? Going to work, then going home and not leaving? Wonka asks. Gooey.
I would say that absolutely
counts. You know what? That totally counts.
That's why I love my job, because going to work and then going home and not leaving just means staying at home and never leaving.
Oh, yes, exactly. When talking about introverts getting changed by anime, I have to think about that A Place for the Universe video of Gigguk. Yeah,
that video is good.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
Yep.
He was like the Levi of Aragon. He was so OP. I mean,
the thing is,
he wasn't. But that for a human, but even then,
that
not
was
really.
Just, yeah, exactly, and that's just what made it awesome. Yeah.
Right. Right, for sure. So, like, these specific stories are ones that I would say we had kind of not really stumbled upon or been shilled to. Like, we have this our current setup really today is stories that were kind of presented to us in a way of like, hey, we don't really care if you do this, but just know that this is here. And in some ways, a lot of stories, like some of the grander stories, like big stories. I was talking with someone recently about the Count of Monte Cristo story. And how in a lot of ways that story for me was something I was forced to do because of school, but it actually opened my eyes to the idea of an ensemble cast being something that I, would then fall in love with for the foreseeable future until today, basically.
That was where it started?
I think that was where it started, because I think Lord of the Rings, if I remember correctly, had so many characters, but didn't go as in depth into the characters as I would have liked, except for like specific ones, like very specific ones.
Like Sam
was a gem of a character. Yeah. Frodo. Yeah, but like not really as much, as I would have liked.
Although even Aragorn, if you've seen the movies but you haven't read the books, read them. Aragorn's a very different character.
He's a very different character.
They do some cool things with him.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. Jacob, a man of culture, I see. Did Caleb get sunburnt? He looks like the Colossal Titan. Yeah. It's funny because I said I was doing an Armin cosplay.
Transformations are for everybody. Except they're not.
Yeah. But anyways, we're not talking about that here.
Exactly.
There's a Count of Monte Cristo anime, which is dope. What do you know?
We've heard about that.
What do you know? Yeah. That's totally not going to be potentially relevant at all in the future.
Nope.
Nope, not at all. One of the things that I wanted to ask all of you was, Jacob and I have told you many times the stories of how we were first got into anime. Like, do you want to refresh them a little bit for those that don't know about how you got into anime?
Like, I mean,
because you got into anime slightly before me.
Yes, I got shilled about Naruto, and I started watching that, and it was fun and all that, and but I ended up stopping that, and you told me about Bleach
like really soon after.
Yeah, not long after I started Naruto, and then I ended up getting way more into that. And then it wasn't till Attack on Titan where I got into anime in general, like where it's just like I need to find more anime as opposed to like, oh, I've heard about this anime, I think I might end up giving that a shot because I don't care about the fact that it's anime, as opposed to being like, no, anime is where it's at.
But I want to know, for you guys, what was the first anime recommended to you? Because one of the things that's cool about, I would say, just the anime community is that we're getting so big to the point where people are now getting, brought into anime, having never heard of the anime that are like the ones that you were introduced to, that someone else in the same, the community was introduced to. Like it's getting to be that place. Like Jacob and I are not old anime otakus with, rich history of, OVAs that we, held tight to, dearly over decades.
I will say though that, I would say Your Awakening was kind of on the channel, but when I went through my anime awakening of, just consuming inordinate amounts of anime.
Right.
Oh man, it feels like so long ago. And when it's really only 6 years ago. Or yeah, 6 years ago.
Oh, Attack on Titan was the awakening.
2013, yeah.
Because you didn't watch a lot of anime back in 2009 when we started.
Right, I
anime.
watched some.
Gotcha.
It was actually a cute girl that got me to watch Cowboy Bebop. And Madoka Magica.
Yeah, what did a cute girl get me to watch? It's funny because I think it was something that
Vampire
you had
Diaries.
already seen. Yeah, it was more live action stuff actually. That's how I didn't. I need to find more interesting company. People are saying Naruto. The first to me was Attack on Titan back in 2013 when I was in middle school. Super basic, I know. My path to anime is beyond bizarre. It just showed me Attack on Titan. I was hooked. Maybe it was Death Note.
Death Note. Yeah.
Gankotsu is really good. It's worse than the actual book, but it's got a cool spin on the tail. Oh, cool. Interesting. None by friends. I watched TV and thought of it like cartoons.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It'd be a short story to even explain it. Naruto and Pokemon as a kid. None ever really recommended me to get into anime. I got into anime watching Toonami as a kid. Well, Naruto was a Chinese cartoon for me. Also, any thought on the Fates movies? Not too much.
I haven't seen any of the Heaven's Feel ones. And I watched the Grand Order movie, but I didn't really care for that.
A friend showed me Fruits Basket, and when I found FMA 2003 when I was sick and bored. Cool.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people were introduced via just their usual methods of consuming entertainment.
The gateway anime,
Well, not just that, but the distribution method. People were getting into it just via TV. They're just watching TV one day, and they're like, sure, I'll watch FMA. Or
and it's just another cartoon.
Toonami.
Yeah.
Right. What happened for me specifically, though, was when Bleach was introduced to me, it did something weird. Because in my mind, anything that was animated had this aspect of it that lessened the story. I remember having really, really intense moments writing up my own fan fiction for Star Wars and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is that Star Wars, in my mind, was this perfect blend of the fantastical CG, the little props, puppet things, and stuff like that, but also the real, the gritty, the live action.
Yeah, while still being basically space magic and all that.
Yeah. So then when the basically the spirit magic of Bleach gets brought into this whole thing here, it was almost like the colors of the animation were just basically saying you can do anything here. And it got me interested, I would say, not just in consuming this type of media, but also creating something that could be imagined in my head as this type of media. Because I think maybe for me in my head, whenever I imagined my little worlds that I would create and stuff, they seemed to be simpler in terms of their spectacle, whatever their look was. It was very hard to imagine them in a weird way in a live action kind of setup.
No, I totally get it.
You know what I mean?
It's the same kind of thing with language. When you become fluent in a language, it alters your dreams because language is how you think, right? Yep. It's how you shape your thoughts and give them form. So in the case of, say, imagination for things, when you have certain stories, you imagine them in the context of other stories. Like I didn't have my fantastical imaginations weren't anime style, they were Star Wars style. And it's okay, I had a lightsaber and then maybe I could do a force jump or force push or something like that, right?
Right.
And that's pretty much the extent of what it was, and it would be awesome, but that was the style that it took, right? And then suddenly anime comes along and it's like, oh, they can make things way more colorful.
Right.
And things like Airbender, and it's like, okay, now I'm imagining being an earthbender, or something like that.
Right.
Or you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood,
Mhm.
and then suddenly you're just snapping. You know,
Yep.
like
It's kind of silly. Like
it's how
it just
works.
works that quickly.
Yeah.
And Avatar: The Last Airbender is something I've mentioned to death about how influential it was. But I would say Avatar basically told me that there were entire worlds out there like begging to be created. And the characters were ones that I really like had a lot of like rapport with. I just really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed their arcs, their struggles, their flaws, their moments of, you know, build up for their arcs and what have you. But it was the world, I would say, and the presentation of it that basically made me go, wait, well, you can actually have truly anything. And I mentioned this with Bleach as well, but once Bleach hit, it was basically like letting me know there's been this whole hidden club out here that knew about another way of doing things all this time, and we never told you anything.
Right, because like when you think about Bleach, especially if like that's basically your first exposure, because like when I thought about like when I watched Naruto, I was like, these people aren't ninja, they're Jedi, right? You know, and it was kind of jarring because I'm like, they're talking about being ninjas, but they're Jedi. Let's be real. And then you go to Bleach, and they have the powers. They have the Jedi powers, just like in Naruto.
Right.
But it's through their swords. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I've got more Star Wars. Like,
Nice.
you know, and I get to watch a story about a kid becoming a Jedi. Yes.
That's awesome.
Like, how awesome is that?
It's got a different kind of skin, kind of look to it.
But it's still, Ichigo's basically just a Jedi. And then he's got to go fight other Jedi to save his friend. And it's like, yes, please, thank you. This is amazing.
Right.
You know, and then you realize that, like, there's a lot of other things like that, you know, and also very different from that, you know, and it's just like...
Right. So... what I wanted to basically segue this into was that we've all been introduced to anime via some method. Something has basically reached out to us, or we've stumbled upon it and we've encountered anime. That's, I would say, for the most of us, why we're here. It's something that's kind of interesting.
You ever wonder why we're here?
But the thing that I've always wondered is, was there ever an anime that was recommended to you that once you watched it and you were like, oh, I get it, you became like that person that recommended to you, and you were like, you have to see this? Like, this is something that I feel like is happening now on a wider scale.
Hence the term shilling exists.
Hence the term shilling is now just a thing in anime, just community in general. But it's also because of the ease of accessibility of anime right now. So what for you guys, I want to see everyone, like, what were the anime that were the ones that once you had them recommended to you, you basically became the recommending echo chamber and you bounced it off to another person? I'm very, very curious. Hunter for Trash Okan, yeah. Oh, another Hunter.
One Piece.
Yes,
Hunter.
Oh my gosh! A bunch of Hunters.
Wow.
Dang. Yes, me and Jacob have you seen... Oh my gosh.
Hunter, Naruto, every JoJo fan, Shinsekai Yori, Death Parade, A Place for the Universe. Yeah.
Wow. Ugh. Now, like, what's really crazy here...
Oh, Haikyuu, but none of my teammates want to watch it.
Oh, Midya! Oh, Midya! Oh man, Hunter, JoJo's Berserk,
Clannad,
Death Note,
Studio Ghibli movies as a wee lad.
Yeah, ReZero.
Sure.
I mostly find my own anime, but I certainly became a shiller on my own for the likes of One Punch Man, Mob Psycho, and Kaguya-sama. Nice. Yeah. When I started watching anime, it was just a slow drip feed of anime every other month or so until 2 years ago when I suddenly exploded into watching tons of anime. So I don't have that one single anime that turned me into a recommender.
Gotcha.
Okay, because one of the things that I'm guessing happened for a lot of you, and I might be projecting out here, but I'm gonna ask it as a question so I don't screw up and put my foot in my mouth here. But something I think happened to at least me when I was recommended an anime that turned me into a recommender of anime. And I think actually the one anime that I would say that did this for me was one that actually came from the channel. You guys are gonna laugh, but like in some ways, it wasn't really the channel, but it was more. No, it technically wasn't the channel. Yeah, this was before the channel.
What?
Yeah, you guys are gonna laugh, but the anime that turned me into a I will recommend anime to tons of people anime was freaking Konosuba.
Really?
Yeah, so
Konosuba.
yeah, so here's the thing. I was trying to see if I could make a pitch that it was something like FMAB. But here's the thing. Okay. I think that at some point there was a point when we were watching anime and something about it made you go, "Huh?" Made you kind of go, "Oh, not really question whether or not anime was for you."
Sure.
It kind of made you doubt anime for a little bit.
Right.
And in that moment where you doubted anime, you then were like, "Oh, this is just my thing. This is just my thing." Now, maybe this is something that less of you have experienced because when you watched anime, you just watched it on TV, or you didn't, you had tons of friends already that watched lots of anime and stuff. But what kind of twisted statement is that? FMAB equals Konosuba. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Konosuba in your top 5 anime that changed you, Caleb. So no surprise. Yeah, that's why I was kind of being like, well, is it actually Konosuba?
It surprised me too.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was I watched Konosuba because Jacob had been talking nonstop about it.
No, I didn't talk about it that much though.
No.
I shot up about it, pretty well.
When you talked about it, let's put it that way. When you talked about it, you were like, "This is the greatest comedy anime of all time."
And he had already seen Fumoffu.
I'd seen Fumoffu at the time. That was good comedy anime.
Yeah.
But Jacob said that I wouldn't like it because there was a lot of fan service.
Right. And maybe because I said that, that's what actually got you to watch it and accept the fan service, because you're
I don't know.
I'm prepped. I know that that's there, but maybe one night late at night,
Yeah, I don't remember actually what it was that got me to watch it, because I think what it was I went to a whole bunch of other people's like top anime that are like interesting to watch and stuff like that. And there were a bunch of ones that I had seen on there, and someone put Konosuba at like the bottom of their list of like 10. And I was like, oh, Konosuba is actually recommended by, whatever. I can't take
online who knows what they're talking about.
I can't take Jacob's recommendations. I have to go from some random stranger online. A testament to my own stupidity and stuff like that. So whatever it was, I ended up watching Konosuba and I fell instantly in love with it. But what I realized was that like I had no shame about sharing anime with people.
I mean,
basically,
if you can share Konosuba without shame, then you can share most.
No,
anime.
I would share Konosuba with like a slight bit of temperance as to who I would share it with.
Okay.
But
you didn't try and
but
share
this
it
was
with grandma?
this was back when Konosuba came out, Jacob. That's the point.
True. That's
back
true.
when Konosuba came out, I don't remember how long ago that was. What was that, like 4 years ago?
2016 was
2016
the first season. Yeah.
So 3 years ago. Okay, so yeah, it was just barely before the channel. Really, that just shows you how much of a
hence why season 2 was one of our first reactions. Yeah.
Well, right, also, but like how important some of those early anime reactions were to me to get into anime.
Yeah.
So yes, it's let the Axis cult flow through you, Caleb. Basically, I was all like, "Would you like to join the cult of anime?"
See the thing, the one that probably impacted me the most is the one that I didn't want to share with anyone.
Oh, Toradora?
Nope, Toradora. No, I'll tell everyone about Toradora. Like,
okay,
got some interesting looks from people where I'm like, yes, I know, I'm recommending an anime romantic.
Oh, I know what it was. It was the movie.
It was Wolf Children.
Yeah.
Because see, with Wolf Children, I got introduced to that back in my Tumblr days because of an AMV, the Fidelity AMV.
Gotcha.
By Zothilaris.
Yeah.
And I just saw it on Tumblr, shared by one of the people that also was like into Airbender. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I know this person has at least fairly good taste.
Right.
And they reposted it and they were like, like the tears, the feels, whatever. And I was like, Okay, you know. Oh, that actually that
Looks pretty good.
that looks pretty good, you know. And I was like,
good.
hey, what's the, you know, I messaged them. I was like, what's the AMV, you know, with the wolves or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, and they were like, Wolf Children, it's a movie. I'm like, it's a movie, an anime movie. Okay, you know, I'm like, all right, you know,
Right.
It's like, would you recommend it? And they're like, yes. Just a warning, you know, you might tear bend a bit at the end. And I was like, okay, all right, you know, watched it, cried like a baby, a blubbering baby, just.
Oh,
yeah.
hold on. We missed some bits. I'm so sorry,
Oh.
Cyros. I'm so sorry. 300 bits from Cyros. Brazen Senkiseshu Symphogear. I am actually not the one who found it, but Watch Symphogear is now my life.
My lifestyle.
My lifestyle.
There you go.
Yes,
Yep.
Cyros. I
Respect.
understand that
Respect.
that lifestyle. The
Mhm.
I will show this story, this anime
To
till
my
I
dying
die.
breath. Yeah.
Yes.
But
More
Wolf,
power to you.
But Wolf Children was one of those ones that like touched me
Mm-hmm.
so deeply that I was just like, I don't think I want to share this with anybody. I don't want to, like, I want to keep this hidden. Like, I don't want to tell anyone about this. This is my little secret, you know.
Right.
And eventually, you know, like, you know, after, you know, a few years, then I was just telling everybody I knew about it.
Right, right.
But for the first like solid year and a half, 2 years, it was
Mhm.
just, nope. I might mention it offhandedly and just be like, yeah, there was this movie that I really liked, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. And it wasn't because I was like, I thought they would think I was weird because of the whole, you know, in conception scene, you know. But it was just like, this movie is special,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's just, yeah.
And I think this is a question I wanted to ask to y'all also as well. Was there an anime, like if you had an issue basically sharing anime with people because they would either be like, oh, you're a freaking weeb or something like that, or be like, you know, yeah.
Fucking weeb. Both are weebs. Ha!
Because basically of the you know, basically people be like, oh no, anime's not cool, anime's not accepted or whatever, stuff like that. What was the anime that broke through that for you? Like, I'm curious. Like, because a lot of people I
And
know.
for you, that was Konosuba.
For me, that was Konosuba, yeah.
If you can enjoy Konosuba and tell people you enjoy Konosuba, you're not afraid of anything.
Oh no, I think what it was just that I needed to be kind of pushed a little bit out of my comfort zone with regards to that, so
Sure.
that I could be
Mhm.
basically like, yeah, I fully accept this. Oh, okay, Tokyo Ghoul. Yes,
Nice.
I am weeb, heckin' weeb. All right, good. Yes, for sure.
Probably Death Note. Okay. Death Note
Uh,
and One Punch Man.
oh, gotcha. Not one. Plucky Aurora. Do you mean like it wasn't one anime, or you don't have one? I feel like Berserk is the perfect anime to recommend because of the similarities with medieval fantasies like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
sure.
a lot easier to recommend to people. Because
Ooh,
of that.
probably Satoshi Kon in general. Oh,
Sure.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did not know about the whole anime is cringy people before I started watching anime, so I had no resistance before starting. That's good, Eric. Well, that's
Prison
awesome.
School.
Prison School. Isn't that the one with like the all the really ridiculous fan service? Yes.
Like, have you seen the clip where it's the?
I've seen clips. Yeah.
It's the dude trying to argue that basically the butt is better than boobs because boobs are basically just an imitation butt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yes. Yes. Dragon Ball Z, Haikyuu. Yes, I saw Bakemonogatari and Nisei in 2012. Hell no was I going to tell anybody about it. Gotcha. Totally understand. Probably Attack on Titan. I would feel comfortable recommending it because to anyone. Gotcha.
Yeah.
One Punch Man, JoJo, but not Part 1. Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's great. Oh man, I don't think I was ever afraid to recommend his stuff I liked. It was around when Kaguya-sama hit the fireworks arc in the manga is when I became an evangelist for stuff I love though.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'll never recommend anime to anyone I'm not 100% sure also watches anime. Gotcha. See, that's another thing I wanted to bring up here. Random YouTube clips of JoJo when I didn't know anything about it. More precisely, Dio clips from Part 3. I had no context and loved it.
Nice.
Dang, I had 60 plus volumes of One Piece manga in my room back in the day, so I don't really care that people say I'm weeb.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Stemble Pro.
This is something that I think we have as just a boon that we should be grateful for. we might not want to accept it, but anime is mainstream. Anime is basically
it's like right
mainstream.
on that cusp of like mainstream, but it's still like not mainstream enough that people can be like, I'm cool, I watch anime.
Right, because I actually think that what might have happened was, at least in the West, there was a point early in the 90s where there was this big explosion of anime, okay? And once that explosion hit, a lot of people then made their judgments about what anime was and whether or not it was worthwhile. Now, with streaming services, Netflix and all that stuff, anime has exploded out, and people are getting, in my opinion, annoyed about it again because they can't get away from it, which means that it's basically hit mainstream. So I'm wondering if we almost were like sandwiched in the middle, where anime was on its road to getting mainstream, and because we got in, early, and now we're confident, we don't have to worry about all that stuff. Sorry, you were laughing at something. What?
Psychronia. I once wrote out a whole speech countering the prison school speech.
Oh my gosh.
It was surprisingly
what is
fun.
That?
The gist of it was, boobs are a symbol of evolution, and it is the path to wisdom. It is the path to plot regardless of morality or justice.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
There you go. Space Dandy is something I only had my significant other watch. It's just the kind of anime I inherently identify so much with the art style and emphasis and numerous other aspects. Don't feel a need to chill it other than in this community, really.
So I think people have a little bit of a misconstrued thing about what mainstream is, and I think that's because if they hear something that says it's mainstream means bad. And don't take it as a judgment of basically saying that it's something where, everyone knows about it, but
right, there's still a bunch of people that don't know about it and still think it's dumb, but those people are usually from the previous generation,
right? So. But an example of it, I would say, Mesker, there's no defined thing as to when something is done breaking through. So I think that that's a great way to describe it, is that it is like e-games, essentially, esports and all that. But the example that Eric Walt puts down there says, when people like Kim Kardashian put on Instagram that she got her hair inspiration from a Darling in the Franxx waifu, anime has become mainstream. That is an example, I would say, that showcases that if anime isn't mainstream, it basically is. Yeah, and then we have Elon Musk posting waifu memes and wearing like Kakegurui or whatever t-shirts.
Kakegurui?
Yeah.
See, what it is that is actually a genius long-term investment, because what he's doing here, because here's the thing, Tesla, it's an electric car company that makes very good electric cars, but these electric cars are also cool. Mm-hmm. And he realizes that in 10, 15 years, the people that, contrary to popular belief, anime fans are capable of procreation, which means they will be the next generation, right? So this is subliminally marketing and marking territory, so that by the time all the anime fans have grown up and have those high-paying jobs and have the money to spend, right? Then they're like, oh yeah, Elon Chan, you were with us from the beginning. We will follow you.
Yes. All according to plan.
Yeah, just as planned.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Capable does not equal going to. That is true.
That may be true.
So an example, I'm not here to debate whether or not it's mainstream. My perspective on it is that I can't determine whether or not something truly is mainstream. But if I had to say whether or not anime is more mainstream than not mainstream, it's more mainstream. You guys get what I'm saying? If there's a spectrum, it's so far on the almost all the way mainstream thing, because I would define something as mainstream on a spectrum probably, and then it would go pretty far into, like, if 100 is fully mainstream and 0 is not mainstream, anime's like, in the high 80s right now in terms of like not only like hit like marketability and just out there and access.
Yeah, I would say it might be at the beginning of its explosion. Like the world, Zawarudo, is going through its anime awakening, basically.
So all this is basically just the world in some ways being given the gift of anime. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to take almost an action kind of thing at the end of this podcast to actually like equip ourselves in a very
Weebs, rise up.
hey, yeah, gamers rise up.
On your
I'm just-
waifus.
no, please, no. The joke of that, yeah. The point is that I think we should all, in some level, take a little bit of time to think about being a little bit more active in sharing anime. I think that there's a lot of people out there that either are closet weebs still, which is sad.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, this is just one of the coolest things ever. Just that we are, yes, exactly. This is truly the blessed timeline. We are in a timeline where all of these ridiculous things are happening in the mainstream, and we get to laugh at them as they just discover anime for the first time. But I have had more fun, and this is just the craziest thing, I've had more fun recently telling other people about specific anime. Me, someone who hasn't watched a lot of anime. Like I've watched, like, I kept thinking like I have watched a lot of anime, and every time I watch more anime, I'm like, I haven't watched a lot of anime, you know, like every time someone comes up to me like, I started watching such and such because of you, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing. And then we get to talk about it.
Absolutely the best thing ever.
That is more impactful to me emotionally than any other time in my past when people recommended something to me. So, like, let's not do it for their sake that they need to see anime or something. Let's do it for ours, and let's, like, specifically, like, try and share, like, anime with people, because I'm going to tell you all a really silly story here real quick. I was hanging out with my folks the other day. This is why I got sunburned, you know. Ended up hanging out with one of my brothers, and he knows about JoJo memes.
Yep.
And I was like, hey bro, you know about JoJo memes? That's cool. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, how about we just watch JoJo's? And he's just like, yeah, let's do it. And this boy, this absolute mad lad, this legend, he actually was willing to start from part 1.
Yeah.
And not only was he willing to start from part 1, he was getting into it. And then, this is the best part. This is the best part, y'all. This is the best part. You know, my brother's there in the, you know, parents' living room and stuff like that, hanging out there. Got JoJo's on. Dad walks out, sees JoJo's part 1, sees Jonathan Joestar running over the fountain with the awkward, stupid character, like, camera
just
thing,
zooming in on the background. Yeah.
Sits down and is like, what's this? What's this? I kid you not. He then, like, spent, like, the next hour of us watching, I think we watched the first 7 episodes of part 1. The next 2.
Yeah.
Of him basically coming back in and stuff, being like, and keep, like, asking questions. Like, what is this? This looks cool. This looks really good.
Yep.
My dad has watched Steins Gate, Toradora, and that's
Attack
about
on...
it.
No, so Steins Gate, Toradora, Attack on Titan... Silent Voice, Your Name, Wolf Children, Summer Wars,
that's right.
And
he's a pretty intro level weeb, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Now he did immediately understand waifu culture once he met
Mayushi
Des. Yes. And he was like, that she's best girl. Like,
yeah. So your dad is totally a weeb.
But I'm just telling you, this is a guy who, like, even if it's some kind of like, ooh, I want to be involved with, hey son, I see you watching one of your hentai.
No, this is a let's play. What the heck is hentai? Oh.
He might just trying to be the cool dad and stuff, but you can't, like, fake being interested in
when there's
JoJo's.
like genuine, like, curiosity. Yeah, exactly. Just like Caleb couldn't fake not being curious about Domestic Girlfriend. It's just you can't do it. You can't do it. You know?
Yes. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh my gosh. So I'm being serious, y'all. Like, find that 1 anime, 2 anime, 3 anime, a small number of anime that are the ones that you would shill, you know, to anyone, everyone, and stuff.
Let's just say he's not a Shimonetta level weeb.
Yeah, see, I don't even know what that means, but
yeah, I mean,
but I'm guessing
yeah.
I'm not that, and you're probably not even that.
I watched most of it. I just really didn't like one of the characters, so
Oh,
I
okay.
dropped it. But
Gotcha.
Hajime Mashite, fellow weebs.
Yeah, you know when the guy who's got nearly 100 million subs is, you know, saying basically that Hajimashite 9-year-olds, you know.
yeah.
It's
But Caleb, you have friends to recommend, unlike us in Twitch chat, Bible Thump.
Now,
but see, even your
Here's the
parents, you know, just don't
no,
show them a Raymo.
your friends can, I mean, your
But
parents could be just absolute
That's true.
tools.
That's true.
I'm saying this not to be like the thing of saying, well, if you don't have friends, you know, don't, you know, it's too bad for you. I'm saying that there are anime out there that if they fire you up, if they get you excited and stuff, just talk about it.
Yep.
Just talk about it. Even if it's just online. Like, even if it's just online.
Sure.
I have seen so many cool anime in the last year. Like, so many cool anime in the last year where it's just like, how am I still finding like amazing stories, amazing characters, amazing stuff that just blows me away. And I'm like also intentionally not letting certain things that I know I'm probably gonna love get onto things like polls. But wait, actually, really awkward segue. What if, Jacob, on this next poll,
oh no,
we put some things on it that are like things we've been holding back on putting on polls,
like the things that we talked about earlier today?
Yeah,
Cool.
Specifically for this one, you know.
Oh yeah. No,
saying?
I know what you're talking
You know what I'm
about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So stay
Anywho.
tuned. Early week of June, new polls coming.
Holding
Sorry.
back on like Space Dandy.
Segue
Oof.
back,
Oof.
segue back. But yeah, I want to know what that would be. What would that? Because Cyros mentioned it earlier. You know, he has Symphogear, and that's his anime that he will shill to everyone. But what's that anime that you would shill to everyone?
That one hentai show.
Welcome to Podcast 89. The vague plan takes form. Well, in some ways, yes, it's relatively vague, but all this is about sharing stories and the impact of that. But yeah.
One Piece of Shinsekai Yori.
Okay, so it's
Case closed. Oh no.
Run with the Wind. Really? Crimson K10? That's one that came out really recently. Oh, Gintama. Yeah,
High School DxD.
High School DxD. Now I always get that one mixed up with something else. What's the one I'm getting it mixed up, Jacob? Read my mind. What is it? I don't remember what it is. There's two shows that. What is it? Is it High School of the Dead? Is that the same thing?
Oh yeah, no. Those are two different things, but very similar, shall we say?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Berserk. I don't feel like the cliffhanger ending matters. They'll thirst for more edgy but thoughtful shows after seeing Berserk. Oh, that's true.
Oh man.
Yours is Avatar. Monster's
Yeah.
actually a good choice. Yeah, I agree. I was showing someone the dub of the Junkers, Johan,
And
and Tenma scene because it's all up on YouTube.
And it's all just basically the cast of Critical Role.
It's the cast of Critical Role, and I got them into it because I was like, hey, you like Critical Role, right?
Liam and Tal, you know,
Yeah.
and then whoever Johan is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were just like, oh, what?
Yep. Actually, in one of the earlier episodes of Critical Role, Tal mentioned Monster as like one of his favorite like voice acting, like one of his more memorable voice acting gigs.
Whoa.
Even though he was just like a character that was in there for
two
like
episodes
or 3 episodes or something. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Oh, yeah, Crimson K10. Yep, it's recent. It's becoming a plague after I shared it with my friend. The characterization is on god level. Whoa, I'm excited to watch that then. Cycrony, I will die defending the hill that is Konosuba and Kaguya-sama. I'm still waiting for my favorite isekai web novel to get an anime adaptation too. That's awesome. SNK 100%. Don't ask why. Oh, that's okay. I won't ask why.
Do you guys still feel there's stuff, genres, types of stories you're hesitant, lack of interest to try? Like before you saw Kill la Kill, I believe you guys have said episodic stuff. I mean, yeah, episodic stuff is definitely a hard sell, but some of my favorite parts of particular stories is the episodic stuff.
Like Violet Evergarden.
Like Violet Evergarden.
Great example.
Little Witch Academia. Monster. You know,
Monster.
it's like that's the good stuff right there.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, if Kill la Kill can happen, then, you know, if Domestic Girlfriend can happen, who knows what could happen.
For sure, for sure. Oh, Gooey's got a list. I commonly show Konosuba, Hinamatsuri, No Game No Life is Zero, Avatar, Sister for shock reactions, and A Place for the Universe. The rest I shill is usually geared towards what I know people like. See, that's when you just know you've watched a lot of animes, when you have such a library that you're like, what do you like?
Right.
And then you're like, let me pour through my library,
like,
a vast collection.
That's one of my favorite things to bring up to people is when they're like, you know, I think I'm going to like rewatch Friends or something. I'm like, you could do that. However, if you want to watch 16 new shows, I could show you a few, and they're all amazing.
Right. And even at, like, work, you would do stuff like that, too, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you got one guy who, like, only watched shonen anime.
He was going to watch Naruto.
Yeah.
Now, I was like, okay, Naruto has 700 episodes. You're giving me a lot to work with. That's a lot of anime that I could recommend to you. I'm like, so if I give you like other stuff, he's like, okay, yeah, sure. I got him to watch a few. Like, you know, he kind of ended up falling off after a bit, but like Bacano, Fumofu, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Nice.
What were the other ones?
See, I love hearing those stories because it's something as simple as like you just letting it be made known that you are the anime person and you're unashamed of being the anime person.
And
like,
that anime is actually good. Like, it's not something to be ashamed of.
Right,
like,
it's amazing. It's so good. And
maybe if you're someone who has trash tastes and likes, you know,
School Days. Unironically.
Sure, I don't know. Or like, I don't know, Lucky Star or something like that.
Hey, a lot of people like that. A lot of people like Lucky
Star.
Star.
I still don't understand why.
Isn't it just a cute girls doing cute things thing?
No, it's cute girls doing nothing.
Well, that's the thing.
No.
But most cute girls doing cute things are doing nothing.
No.
That's the point, though,
no,
right?
It's literally cute girls doing nothing.
Is that the one where the girl gets in front of the fan and does the thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the one where they spend almost an entire episode talking about how to eat a pastry. Like,
that's pretty nothing. That's true. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's another reason why I know I haven't I haven't watched a lot of anime is because I haven't watched many like cute girls doing cute things anime. I haven't watched many horror anime, if any, really.
You like Friends? Here's Love Hina, Tenchi Muyo, and Vandred.
I don't even know what any of those are.
I'm trying to order Battle Lines and can't help. Wait. Okay, are you on the signed copy one or the regular copy one? I'll check stuff after this.
We'll talk with you after the podcast and stuff. But yeah. I mean, just if anything we could say at the end of this is just like with anime specifically, there's a lot of people I feel like who are looking at it from the sidelines and kind of this weird kind of spectacle thing of like, oh, it's this weird new thing. I'm not going to be the early adopter. I'm going to be the person that comes in at the very last minute when everyone else agrees that it's cool. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing is that there's a lot of potential, especially if those of you who are like looking for anime friends and stuff like this. You kind of need to put it out there in some ways that like, hey, I can be your anime friend because I like anime and I'm very passionate about it. I'm proud about anime.
It might not help on your Tinder account.
No. but I found that even before we had done the channel and stuff like that, being at least open with recommending people Attack on Titan for one.
Sure, Attack on Titan was a pretty safe one.
And I remember multiple times where when I was in it was actually back when I went back to visit California after I had done with school there. Went back to visit some friends and stuff back in like 2015 or something like that. And Attack on Titan was on hiatus. Mm-hmm. I wanted to have people in my hiatus land of suffering for Attack on Titan season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I went
You got to see them watch that bit of the wall crumble away.
I went and showed them that it was on Netflix, and the idea of being like, oh, it's on Netflix, so it must actually be good, was legitimately a thing. And I introduced a friend and his friends, who were all strangers to me, to the first episode of Attack on Titan. Just the first episode had like all of them but one. I think it was like him and 3 strangers. So yeah, it would have been like 5 of us in total. And only one of them wasn't like put in the like do the next episode now. Like let's do this. Like I'll go get the snacks. Like let's keep this going. And while yes, we can't all be as mainstream friendly in the first episode as Attack on Titan with its gritty, ridiculous, over the top.
And by the way, so Trasha Khan said, I always struggle to recommend Attack on Titan because of the dub. I just feel the show was so much, especially in the early episodes. We didn't have that issue because there wasn't a dub when we were shilling it.
Right.
And you could kind of just gloss over the fact that there is a dub, maybe.
Right. Just don't tell them.
And hope that works and then go from there.
In some ways, I don't feel like, and maybe this is something from weird thing to say, but this is even something from my sales days that I remember was don't make excuses for something when it's good.
Right.
Just say like it's good. If you want to get in, like you want to have it, was the best way. Like I don't really make dub excuses with that. I just like, no, this is anime. You're gonna watch it in the sub because this is anime. This is how it works. And they go, I can't really do that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's okay. It's always gonna be there.
Right.
You don't have to pressure them into doing it or something like that.
Right.
But letting other people know that anime is something that at the very least, if it really has been something that's changed you, because I know that might sound a bit, I don't know, overly dramatic, but the main point of me telling you guys all that stuff that happened in my past that led me to here is that anime is just a thing in the story sequence of events of things that's changed my life. But it was multiple anime that not only brought me into a lot of cool connections with friends and stuff like that, but got me closer with you. Like we ended up having like these really cool kind of bond of being in our own mini club of like, we watch anime,
right?
Animes, we know it's awesome. And even Jacob was like frustrated that I wasn't fully in his club yet.
Oh yeah,
like Caleb, I'm watching another show. It's like, really good. And I'm like,
even when we started the channel, right? Yep. We started with RWBY. And then it's like, okay, what do we do after? And I was like, well, we should do anime. And if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was something that you had to kind of warm up to a little bit. You were like, well, what anime we were going to watch? You were like, I'm not watching, like, what was it? You were like, I'm not watching Naruto. Like,
I think what I didn't want was shonen. I didn't want
MHA.
shonen specific. Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to kind of have at the end bit here was, even I, as a person who liked anime, had misconceptions about anime because people weren't willing to recommend me, all types of anime.
Yeah, exactly.
They try to cater to my specific desires or stuff like that.
Sure.
Rather than saying like, there's 5,000 anime easily accessible for you to watch right now.
Right.
Go have fun.
What was it? When I think Daily Lives of High School Boys was my first exposure to something. Well, no, it was my first exposure to something where there weren't any supernatural elements. Because with Death Note, I was like, whoa, that's so cool. It's not like a battle thing. It's like they have the superpower is like something that they have to do mind games with, like I was like, that's so crazy, in just a slight alteration of how they do the superpowers that has to be in all anime, right?
Yeah.
And my friend was like, that not all anime are action, right? That's just one kind of anime. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, watch Daily Lives of High School Boys. It's great. And then watched it, and I was like, how is this so good? There's no powers. Like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, it's called comedy. I'm like, but wait, that's a thing?
Yep. I literally was talking to someone about 3 months ago who was telling me how Naruto was the greatest anime of all time. And I was like, oh, cool. What other anime have you watched? I haven't watched Naruto. And he was like, well, there's One Piece. One Piece is really good. I was like, okay. I haven't seen that either. Any other anime you've seen? He's like, no, not really. No. I'm like, oh, so you've started some anime, but you haven't finished them? He's like, well, yeah, I've like started some other ones. I'm like, oh, would you start? And he's like, Cowboy Bebop, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. And he's like, yeah, but it's kind of boring.
Yeah, the beginning is slow.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I gotcha. I'm like, have you checked out Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? And there was this thing of just like, oh no, I don't check out anime. And it was like this moment of like, it wasn't like he was saying that, but it was the same thing I noticed in myself back then.
Yeah, it's right. It's the thing of the person that
doesn't want to reveal that they're really into anime.
Right, exactly. Because they're kind of in denial about it.
Yes,
still.
exactly.
So it's the person that says anime's stupid, and they have Attack on Titan paraphernalia.
Yeah.
All over the bedroom wall, you know.
It's so true. Right? And I think that people need to be around people like Cyros was saying up here. Actually, let me find that comment again. That was really good. It says the easiest way to be an anime watcher in public is just do it like there's nothing weird about it.
Yep.
Shyness, weird behavior is an easy target, but if people like when people enjoy something, so it just makes the other person trying to be a negative about it look like complete ass for most people, even if they don't like anime themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You watch that Bible Black in public. You do it proud.
Right, yeah, people are being tsunderes about their appreciation of anime. It's not like anime or anything.
That's
Baka.
literally what it is. Why do we like tsunderes so much?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we are them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anime is stupid, Baka. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Do not watch some anime in public. However, watch those anime with your back against the wall. Well, the thing is that most of those anime aren't being recommended by the general public anyway.
Bible Black on the train, no headphones. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But well, and that's the other thing. If you watch it in the dub, they won't necessarily know that it's anime. They'll just be like, "This is a cartoon, I guess. It might be drawn a little bit weird, but that's it." You know.
No. Watch hentai in public. Assert your dominance.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if we can recommend that. No, probably not. Shy Monkeys with the Twitch Prime for the third month. Thank you so much, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Maya Papaya, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime as well. Glad to have you here. Maya Papaya, I love your name.
Yep.
I don't know if you know this since it's your first time being a Twitch sub, but we have a private Discord which you have access to through the subscriber room. So be sure to check out the invite link on that, and then sync your Twitch and Discord accounts up to get access to chat with us in there. It's pretty cool. Ooh, I haven't thought about History's Strongest Disciple in a long time. Not my intro to anime, but my intro to manga. Oh, cool. Was someone talking about that? I've heard of that one. Interesting. Okay, cool. Family Guy 10. Why did I Google Bible Black?
Oh no,
Jacob, you.
Oh no,
you were being sarcastic, and people actually Googled it. You idiot. Baka.
Watching Kill la Kill in public. I'd do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix either needs to remove Attack on Titan completely or add more than just the first season. Yeah, I got you. Jacob, recommendation. Since you're a novelist, have you ever read the book House of Leaves? The book is written like a maze, so on some pages the words will be upside down or cross into each other. Some pages are gibberish and others are one-word pages. Very interesting take on a psychological way of telling a story. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
That just sounds like Psycho way of telling a story. But
wow,
I mean,
okay,
wow.
That must have been expensive to print.
Yes.
Or well, no, I guess just the formatting. But okay, wow, yeah.
Konosuba has a dub now, so what you're saying is I can pass it off as a cartoon.
Yeah, you might get some interesting looks. People being like, "Wait, this is a cartoon? What's going on here? Where did you find this?
Right?
Is this safe? Is this legal?"
And to be honest, the idea of anime can only be this or any other media in that case is the most how the heck do you even get that idea thing ever? That's so true, Cyros.
When you watch just 2 or 3 battle shonen and they're all the same thing, then you just naturally assume that that's all anime is.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. And not everyone is blessed with the, lovely community that we have shilling a variety of genres of anime and stuff like that.
I am so proud of this community.
But as members of this community, this is something I almost want to challenge and do like our first thing of this. Do a if you're a Twitch viewer kind of thing, you'll be in on this, but most people won't be in on this because I'm not going to make some big deal about it or something like that. but I want us to reconvene on the first podcast of July. Wait, hold on. We'll actually be in Texas at that time. Hold on.
Wait, what are you wanting to do first before we figure out when it is?
Reconvene the first podcast of August, okay? And let's see how many people we can get into our favorite anime.
Oh.
Basically to just watch it.
So an anime shilling challenge.
An anime shilling challenge. Basically just a thing just to see how many people at least try it, or just at least one. Just try to find one person who's not necessarily, someone you're already kind of shilling stuff to, stuff like that. Find a new person to get into the anime community via your thing is, yes, pester your friends challenge. I'm all in. Yes. I already do that.
There you go.
Mesker one. That's the right bit of this. Yes.
And if you get them to pester their friends, and then they pester their friends, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I will say that on some level, it doesn't have to be an anime, but just a story that's changed you, a story that's moved you, and have it truly be a story that's like something that you really like stand by as being something that's important to your life, like how Lyriot just passionately shills Space Dandy to us without end, because Lyriot is awesome like that. And how I will just never stop shilling Avatar: The Last Airbender, till
it will take a while for me to stop shilling Domestic Girlfriend.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, it's like selling Scout cookies in middle school. Only the stakes are much higher.
That's right.
So what I'm gonna do is, this is just gonna be a thing for me, Jacob. You don't have to be involved in this stuff like that. But basically, if you come back here with a person in the Twitch channel and stuff like that, and you've got you don't need to lie about it or make a big deal about it, but you have someone that you basically shilled the show to them, and they at least started it, they at least started watching it and stuff like that, they checked it out, they don't have to finish it or something like that. I'm gonna gift a number of subs based on just like how many people have done like that. So just a number of subs to the Twitch community. So we can make this be a thing where it'll just be a fun thing for just anyone that's here.
Is this a pyramid scheme?
Is this a pyramid scheme? No, you guys aren't getting.
No, each of you get 5 people, and then if you get them to get 5 people.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my gosh! Yes, and an 800-year-old lolly's on the top of this pyramid. Oh my! SOS becoming a cult slowly, asking us to spread the word.
Sir, do you have a moment to talk about SOS?
No, please don't advertise us. We have YouTube. YouTube does all that for us, so we're good there. Oh man. Yeah, I remember back in the day, actually, when we were in the YouTube comments, people would tell us to actually like calm down on some of the noises, because they're like, I can't watch this publicly without headphones anymore. Yeah. Going to make 100 accounts for a guaranteed gifted sub.
Koi no Katachi, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Wait, fun fact, there's a Twitch channel that streams Avatar, but has people who know when Twitch mods are coming and bails when it gets sketchy.
Oh, wow. Why doesn't that surprise me?
Really? So they stream the show, but once the Twitch mods are coming to basically shut it down, they shut down their account?
Right, because how do you bail?
How do you bail? Yeah, your account could still get...
Unless you delete the VODs or something, but...
Yeah, that seems...
Or is it just that it doesn't go to VOD? They just have it set up so that that isn't a thing. Sir, have you heard of our Lord and Savior anime?
I don't know. This was something that
bail equal flee to another country.
No, that's Kappa, Jacobs. You thought he was serious.
I didn't see the second one. Okay.
But how would
I have no idea. Dedication. There's weird people out there. Yeah.
Gotcha. They shut down the video and switched to the game they're under, and there is no VOD. I see.
Wow.
That makes sense. Okay, gotcha. Yes. Twitch, the most convenient piracy venue. Oh man.
Twitch, is this a piracy site?
Copier Fairy, thank you so much for the follow. Glad to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
When is the Sharing the Gift of Stories featuring games podcast? Well, that's on Thursdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific time.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can watch Jacob playing Dota 2
Yeah.
on Thursdays,
Had
3
a
p.m.
pretty
Pacific
sweet
time.
sniper run last time.
Oh,
Still lost, but
sweet.
he was great.
Got a lot of snipes.
Oh yeah, it was stupid. Like
stupid.
I didn't have enough slots for all the gear that I had because it was just so much stuff. I just deleted
Ridiculous.
everything that was remotely nearby. It
Awesome.
was wonderful.
And then I am doing The Witcher 3 first DLC, Hearts of Stone, on Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Having a lot of fun with it. It's an incredible DLC. Like, one of the best DLCs I've ever seen. Yeah.
Sir, the real question is not what are you doing in my house? It's what anime can I provide you?
Okay, here's something else that I will
Oh,
attach.
man.
Guys, for those of you that stuck around, here's something else that I will attach to this as well. For those of you that have the best, I will choose. Let's say two. I'll choose two of you. For the two of you that have the best story, like in my opinion, like my favorite story
Oh,
regarding
wow.
this whole
Mhm.
shilling thing, even if it's not successful, you just come and you're willing to share the story.
Mhm.
I will also
Tell me
gift you
more.
a sub. I will gift you a sub directly as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you're
Cool.
already a sub, it might be like, oh well, I guess that's a thing and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Wow.
I don't know if this is true, but can you gift someone 30 days of a sub so that it discounts their sub? Can you
Maybe.
do that? Chat.
You
Help
made
me
your
out?
friend watch Boku no Pico? Why would you do that?
Darwin,
Why
wow.
would
you troll? You freaking troll!
Horrible.
Wow. I don't think you can do that. I was just asking, just in case. Oh,
What, make your
the,
friend watch Boku no Pico?
Magic the Gathering anime on Netflix incoming. Whoa. Oh, that's actually an idea, Gooey. A tier 2 sub. The thing is that we don't have benefits really for the second and third tiers yet. But actually, that would be a cool thing to make sure I get something for tier 2 subs. Ooh.
It's an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With what I did for the sub badges and stuff like that, you give me the go ahead to do something for the tiers of subs and stuff like that within reason.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Cool.
So then, if you already have a sub, I will give you a tier 2 sub then.
Brrr.
And then at the very least, you'll get whatever the thing is going to be specifically for that.
Sure.
So that'll be pretty cool.
Mm.
Good idea, Gooey. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh man, yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
Is there a specific anime we're supposed to be shilling, or can we choose our own? Choose your own.
Battle Lines.
Battle Lines.
Battle Lines.
Battle Lines, which is pending maybe some technical difficulties, is
Yeah,
actually available to
But it is
Order
it is
on
available
Amazon
to
right
order
now.
On Amazon right now. Yep. Mm-hmm.
5-star reviews. Yeah. 5 stars.
Mhm.
5 stars.
Because apparently, because the pre-orders were done through Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be a verified purchaser of the product in order to leave a review. So unfortunately, the people that got the pre-orders aren't able to actually leave a review on
That's
the thing.
really weird.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but but it's all there. So
Gotcha.
yeah, man, I'm so sad. JC staff is adapting Battle Lines. Jacob Caleb staff, you mean? Yeah. I know there's actual JC staff, but
Right. Wait, Larry Justin Tom, nice name. I'm not gonna show my own. I'm only shilling SOS Bro approved. Okay, well we're finishing Monster right now. I would recommend shilling Monster
Or
because it's got a great dub
or A Place Further in the Universe.
or a place for the universe. Sure.
Yeah.
Either one of those. If they want dark and long form gritty stuff, or if they want short, wholesome, sweet.
Or just Your Name. It's Freaky Friday
Or-
the anime.
that's
It has a
true,
great
yeah.
dub. It's a movie, low
That's true.
commitment. There you go. Yeah.
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 Jacob, do you already sell the rights of Battle Lines for an anime to Netflix?
What? How did you know about that?
Nani, end the stream, end the stream. In that case, the winning play is going to be picking a good gateway anime, binge watching it on your laptop without headphones in public, and see if you can reel in some curious people.
I don't think that will necessarily work, because that's how I watched Attack on Titan, just in the school library, like right in the middle of it, at the entrance. Nobody.
Haven't received my copy of BL yet. So very sad, Jad the Mad. I'm so sorry. Now you are Jad the Sad.
The Great Bezos is getting it to you as fast as his minions can.
Yes, the Great Bezos. Yes. These little gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Freaking Bezos. Oh,
If you're
man.
feeling nihilistic after Game of Thrones is ending, get cured with Further Than the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. So y'all, we're gonna be ending the podcast here. We got to end it a little bit sooner, as you can see here. I need to touch up with some aloe vera,
Yes.
and go rest. But thank you so much for hanging out with us here. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, stay tuned for polls, because there's a lot of them this month,
And the official announcement video for Battle Lines,
yes,
Yeah.
and then all of our other stuff we got on YouTube. YouTube.com/semblance of sanity. Check it out if you randomly stumbled upon us here. Had no idea who we are. Do a lot of stuff regarding anime there. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, if you want to catch the stream tomorrow for our Berserk manga review, we're going into one of the final chapters, volume 35.
Yeah, because last week
Pretty-
was Volume 34.
Pretty crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
And then of course gaming streams on Thursday and Friday, which we've already discussed.
Right.
All this stuff at 3 p.m. Pacific time. But yeah, hope to see you all in the next ones. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.
Everybody check out Bible Black like Jacob suggested. No. I mean, the dub might be funny, but no.
Right. Veldora the Explorer. Thank you so much for the follow.
Wow.
So, Jacob, I've started the Battle Lines Discord channel.
Yeah, the spoilers
Yeah.
channel. Yeah, we're gonna have to get all up in that because
It's kind of weird because we're like the only people that actually know things in that spoilers channel, you know?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like specifically the things surrounding, you
Oh.
know, that moment.
Yeah, you need
like,
to make
that